It's unfortunate it's not as sexy as a lot of people wanted. The NBA wanted the Lakers or the other teams, the Knicks, obviously, but this is going to be when we look back, I think this will be a really good series, finals, that people didn't really watch for some reason. But
Greetings and salutations and welcome to the Odd Coaches Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Keith Adams, and on today's Wind Up Wednesday edition, NBA Finals recap, State of the NBA. Adam Silver had some things to say, and the WNBA Weekend Review. But first, well, we are here, and now we have a series, and Mike King is on an excused absence. He'll be back next week, man, so he didn't run from us. But, Will, I'm going to start with you. Any thoughts about the NBA Finals? It looks like we're going to play until late next week.
oh, I think if you really follow basketball, I think you knew this was going to be a pretty good series. I mean, both of the teams have different strengths, weaknesses, very interesting, star power differently, flexibility, and they're for the most part, they're both pretty youth. They're both pretty young. Like you don't have too many old guys on those teams, so you get a lot of running and back and forth. It's gonna be good, man. I thought it was gonna be good. The first game, the comeback with the crazy game winning. I mean, come on. I mean, that already like said this is what this series is gonna be about. It's unfortunate it's not as sexy as a lot of people wanted. The NBA wanted the Lakers or the other teams, the Knicks, obviously, but this is going to be when we look back, I think this will be a really good series, finals, that people didn't really watch for some reason. But it's starting off really, really well. So let's keep going.
All right, Robert, bring some levity to this. What are you thinking about Indiana OKC?
So I got a lot. So first of all, Pascal Siakam, New Mexico State alumni, go Aggies. Heads up. Um, Second, so I work with Ref Reps, my ed tech company. We help the world see the game through the eyes of the officials. Although the company is based in Indianapolis, so all Pacers fans. So every night of the playoffs, phone blowing up, Pacers game stuff. And, everybody's like, oh my God, we didn't even play that well. Wow. And I'm like, okay. And I'm looking at the box score, and OKC did not shoot the ball very well. And Chet was bad, and Jalen Williams was bad. And I mean, just saying all that to say, I still think Oklahoma City is going to win the series. But I think it's going to be a lot more competitive than people thought. I think it's going to be more competitive than Vegas at least initially started the line at. It's going to, I mean, but it's going to be a good series. You have young teams that get up and down. That first game was really entertaining. Halliburton is dirty. OKC's got to quit giving up corner threes. I mean, there's a lot there, but it's going to be a really good series.
All right, and our international correspondent, Francois FD. What are your thoughts on OKC, Indiana, going any direction you want?
Yeah, the first thing for me is that none of this team is paying the luxury tax. And it's crazy because the NBA is changing now. To build a team, you don't just take superstar. You build on a long time if you want to win. And we have to give a big congratulations to what they did with the Oklahoma City Thunder, the building roster, and also what the Indiana Pacers did with the trade of Pascal Siakam. I was not a big fan of this deal, even if Pascal is a fellow teammate, but for him, I was not a big fan of that. But now what they are doing, how they're playing is crazy, and they're doing a great job, a great job. I think every time we're saying that, okay, Indiana win game one, they're gonna lose. I was like Robert, I was saying the same thing days ago. Like, okay, now they're in the NBA final. They're playing a great team, a good team, the OKC Thunder. Now they're gonna lose game one, game two. Maybe they're gonna take one game, and now we are after one game, they win in the OKC, and it's very big to say that. I cannot say that OKC is going to win. I do not know who's going to win this series. It's going to be a huge series. And you're just very excited to see that and to see what's going to happen.
All right, and making his maiden voyage. This is special to me, and I hope I don't go too far off the wagon with this. Danny Thompson is with us. Danny is the one who got away from me as a recruit when I was coaching at Hood College, former college player, former professional player, and recruiting is a 40-year relationship. And Danny and I have maintained a friendship over that entire time. And I am so happy to have him here. So first, Danny, I hope you're doing well. And second, what do you think about OKC, Indiana?
Well, I mean, appreciate for the invite. I'm enjoying this. This is gonna be a good venture for me. As far as the OKC Indiana, if you are a basketball fan, this is the finals for you because you're seeing the change in the league with this final series. There's no more large market teams going out and farming superstars from one team, from another team, teams blowing up their rosters to get 2 or 3 stars to come to your roster. These two teams show you what it means to grow through the draft,
Mm-hmm.
develop over time, and then you see the fruits of your work come to fruition. Now, as far the finals go, I'm with Robert. The box score for me is a telltale of what game one was about because everybody's like, Jalen Williams had 17 points, but he was 6 of 19 from the floor. You would think Indiana would have lost. They turned the ball over 25 times.
Mm-hmm.
But that last quarter says a lot. And when they did what they did in that fourth quarter, I came back from watching a professional game out in Bowie, and I came back just in time for the fourth quarter, and I said, "Oh, this is not going to be an easy series." And I said that from when I saw Indiana won, they beat New York. I said, "This is the final series for basketball fans, and this is the one. This is the final series I've been waiting for ever since." We saw Milwaukee winning and then Denver winning and then Boston with their development. This is the final series we've been waiting for.
All right, so we're coaches, players. OKC in six. Will, is that still the prediction?
Oh yeah. I still think OKC is 6.
Okay. Robert, what we have?
I that sounds right to me.
FD, what we got?
I honestly now I think it's gonna be a game 7, and if you see the game 7, Indiana is gonna win just because they play every time at 100%. So
All right, and Danny, what do we have as a prediction?
I think it's going to be OKC in 7. I I just don't think this is not going to be a cakewalk. This is Indiana's going to give them a run for their money because they present a play style that matches them pretty much. But the thing about it is, if Indiana controls the pace, then this could be like Indiana in 5 or 6. So you never know. But if it was up to me, I said OKC in 7.
All right, so fans, we need whoever to win in 6 because I'm not trying to stay up late on a Sunday taping day. So when we get back, fans, segment 2, we're going to talk about the state of the NBA, may talk a little bit about the Knicks and their coaching hunt. We'll check it out. We'll be right back on the Odd Coaches Podcast. Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Keith Adams, and for years, I've witnessed the struggles student athletes face on how to truly balance the demands of academics and athletics. It's a question that I have dedicated my life to answering. That's why I wrote Finding the Balance, my personal journey to academic and athletic success. It's more than just a book. It is my personal journey, and it is filled with hard-earned lessons from decades as a coach, educator, and now president of the CKA Safe Project. Inside, you will find practical advice, real-life stories, and a clear roadmap to help student athletes, coaches, and parents navigate the complex world of balancing sports and education. And now I am thrilled to bring this message to a wider audience as a proud member of the Cascade Sports Network. We're partnering to amplify these crucial conversations about student athlete success. I believe every student athlete deserves the opportunity to reach their full potential, both on and off the court and the field. You can purchase your copy directly from our website at www.casafeproject.org. Join me and the Cascade Sports Network as we work together to help every student athlete succeed. Welcome back to the Coaches Podcast in segment 2. Adam Silver had his annual State of the League address during the finals, and he talked about NBA Europe. So the NBA is in talks with FIBA and other entities about the process of adding a new league, not teams, a new league in Europe, and they're continuing. Silver spoke at the league event to unveil a new boys and girls club. Thank you, NBA. So Silver and FIBA have initial target of 16 teams, and they're talking directly with the Euro League and some other clubs about a partnership, but his preference is that the NBA work with the existing league on some level, though we're very early in there. About 1 in every 6 current NBA players hails from Europe, including Nikola Jokic from Serbia, Giannis Antetokounmpo from Greece, as well as Luka Doncic from Serbia, and Victor Wembanyama from France. FD, when you hear about NBA Europe, what are your thoughts, sir?
I think it is good for the Euro League and also for the NBA. It's a big deal for the both of those leagues. Your league is in a growth situation. Every year they have more market and have more people interest on that. But they have a lack of, first of all, money, and secondly, experience to deal how to use basketball and to get money using basketball. And that's why I think NBA can help your league to develop, to be more organized, to to develop themselves. And for the NBA, I think that they need to have more of the league to be sure that they get they get more exposure the league. And now the deal is that your league player, your league team, they don't want to work with the NBA at the day of today. So it is not a deal that is done. And I hope they will find a solution. It's not a good thing for both of them that the NBA bring another league in Europe. The best deal will be that the NBA find a solution with the FIBA and the Euro League to work on this Euro League and to do something together.
All right. Danny, as a former professional player, you hear about NBA Europe. What are your initial thoughts?
I'm excited. As so many, I have friends who played overseas for the longest, and that's something that is a very good venture because if you think about it, if you want to do a comparison, let's look at it this way. NFL Europe failed because football was not a big market in Europe at all, and that was pre new millennium, late '90s, early 2000s when NFL Europe was going on, and it didn't really hit home. That's why it was gone. But this is different. Basketball is such a world growing game, and with the game in Europe being what it is, this will be good because, like you said, 1 in 6 NBA players hail from Europe. I still remember at a time where the only European player I ever thought of was Dirk. He was the only player from Europe that came to my mind before Tony Parker came along, being the Spurs fan that I am. Um, like I said, I'm excited. When he announced it, I was like, okay, this is going to be a big deal. You already had some grassroots success with with the Basketball African League, and now you're expanding to the European game, which is a vastly different game than what we see stateside. So again, if you are, like I said during the finals segment, if you are a fan of basketball, you will appreciate NBA Europe when it is all said and done and it is created. I can't wait. I'm just waiting for the package to come out so I can go and purchase it so my wife can look at me and be mad for a little bit.
All right. So, Will, I'm going to go to you for NBA expansion. Adam Silver has mentioned that they will discuss expansion next month at the Board of Governors meeting in Las Vegas. And we've talked about this before, but one, should the league expand? And two, if they do, where should they go? What do you think, sir?
Oh, I think the league should expand all the time. Anytime they have opportunity. I mean, if they're talking about expanding to, different countries in Europe, and if they're going to Africa or they're going to South America, I think they should do that stuff. You know what I'm saying? It just speaks to it's building the product, I would say. you know. Where they should go? Well, I mean, come back to Seattle. I think Seattle needs an NBA team. I think it'd be a great fit for them. Obviously, Las Vegas is totally changed in previous years and decades, I should, because it's so much away of what it used to be in the 60s, 70s, 80s. It's now like a family friendly kind of place. We have restaurants, we have shows, we have obviously the Raiders, so you have a lot of kids coming over. They have hockey over there. And it's just a fun vibe. So yeah, I think expansion will be talked. I hope Seattle gets the team. I hope Las Vegas gets the team. I know that there's some other teams that they're talking about. I think somebody even, and I know it's not going to work, but somebody said Baltimore is looking like they want an NBA team too. I wouldn't be against it. Hey, more basketball we could do. But yeah, things are good, and if you can keep increasing salaries every year and guys are making 400, 500 million dollars, yeah, you can expand a little bit, I think.
Okay. Robert, one, we have 30 teams right now. Can we fit 32? And two, if we can fit 32, where would you like those two teams to go?
I think that there's going to be an NBA team as a foregone in Vegas. I think that's a foregone conclusion. That's happening. The other is that if you don't bring back the Sonics,
We riot.
You have
it's a
to.
crime.
Yeah.
Bring back
We
the
are we are riding in the street. Bring back the Sonics.
That's
Bring back
that's
the
it.
Sonics. Okay.
So if you don't go to Seattle and Vegas, you're doing it wrong. That's
Yeah.
my opinion.
All right. So another NBA news. The winner of this year's finals will become the league's seventh straight new champion. This is the longest the league has gone without a repeat. Danny, what are you thinking about that? Is that a bad thing or is that a good thing for the league to continue to have new champions every year?
Oh, let me take my glasses off for this. That is a beautiful thing. An absolute beautiful thing. You got to remember, the NBA has been around for over 75 years. You got to think the only franchise that repeated were Boston, LA, Chicago, Miami. That's it, and Golden State. That's it. With the way the game is now.
Houston, can't forget the Rockets.
Yes.
I
And
can't forget
Detroit.
about the Rockets. My God, I can't
And
forget
the
about the Rockets and
Pistons.
Detroit, the bad boy Pistons. With the way the game is now, I think it's a wonderful thing that we're seeing new champions every year because it shows you how much the game has grown as time goes on. Because when Milwaukee won it, we were all like, yes, that means the year of having three superstars on one team is over. Then they're like, maybe not, because we don't know what Kevin Durant was going to do when he moved to Brooklyn. Then we don't know what he's going to do when he went to Phoenix. It didn't work out. And then a team that had one star in development along the roster won it again. So I think that's good for the growth of the league. We want to see more. We want to see more champions. We want to see more teams. We want to see more stars coming to the frame. Like this year, look at it. There is conversation if Tyrese Halliburton is a superstar in the NBA. I would have never thought we'd had that conversation about a player in Indiana since Paul George left. And now, with the way Halliburton is playing, SGA is coming along. The fact that we're going to see a new champion this year that's not a repeat, I'm all for it.
All right. FD. Adam Silver reiterated that the NBA will likely shift to Team USA versus the world for next year's All-Star game in Los Angeles. Again, you're our European correspondent, our international guy. What do you think about NBA teams going Team USA versus the world?
Yeah, I think it's a big deal. You know, All-Star game it's a little bit boring, and I think for all of us, and we want to see more competition. We want to see them play, you know, and I think that make that United States play against the best player in the world will, I hope, make player want a little bit more to win this game, and will bring more competition. We bring player will be more accountable of the game in the game, and gonna be big. And yeah, I think it's a big deal. It's a big deal for the NBA to decide to change this rule and to make that NBA player from America can play against other player. But what I hear Adam Silver said is that maybe it's not gonna be like that. Maybe it will be one a team from America player, maybe two team from European player. I don't know how it's gonna work, but we will see. But I think it's a good idea.
All right. So, Robert, we're in public education. Got to show up to work every day. 82 games. Adam Silver said we're not reducing the number of games, but yet, we joke about the 65 game club. Should the NBA actually think about reducing games, or what do you think about that, sir?
Well, we all know that what they should do and what they will do, those two are not necessarily the same thing. I mean, if you want a better product, you would reduce the schedule. But it's not during the regular season. It's not about a better product. It's about making money. It's about filling the arena. It's about, all of that. So that's not going to change. And I don't think that there will even be a consideration about that until fans, and I'm talking about regular fans. I'm not talking about people who actually can afford to go to the arena every game, that kind of stuff. When regular fans are priced out of the arena experience enough that they basically quit going, because you never know if I'm going to pay money to see the Spurs. Now, I can go see the Spurs for the price of a movie ticket. Spurs seats in the nosebleed section are cheap. But if I'm going to go see the Spurs, I want to see Wemby. And if they're playing the Thunder, I want to see SGA. And if I can't have some assurance that I'm going to show up, and if those guys are healthy, they are playing, then I am that much less likely to spend my money. And until it hits the owners in the wallet, nothing's going to change. Nothing.
Yeah.
Like the Wizards did. Oh my God. It was and the fan experience is totally different. And let me give you an example. We went to the Wizards game. Terrible, awful team. There's no star power. There's no energy. They're tanking. The food was bad. Even the concessions and the workers, even they were just like bored, looking around. And then the restaurants outside, Clyde's, lackluster. Everything was affected from that whole game. The next night, I went to a Capitals game, and obviously they're they're like top three in the East. Totally different vibe. Excited people. The food was good. The energy is going. People on the streets. You know what I'm saying? So if people can see that the product is bad, and I agree with Robert. Until people just say, you know what, not and you know what doesn't help, that college is getting a lot better thanks to NIL. So, because even myself, I was one of those guys who was like, I'm more of a professional guy. I like the NBA, but man, now you're getting such much talent in college. It's like, man, I'm gonna watch, definitely, let me watch that. And instead of watching, some boring game between, whoever with the Wizards versus like Orlando and Banchero's not playing because he doesn't want to. So yeah, I'm with y'all. Yeah, it's
Go ahead, Robert.
I want to go back to, Danny talking about the, having new champions. I'm old enough to remember, and you probably are too. These three guys are not. I'm old enough to remember when the NBA Finals was tape delayed on TV.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody cared.
No one cared.
Okay. And to go from that to what the league is now is amazing. And it's in the NBA's best interest, I believe, to make sure that you have competitive balance so you don't have the trophy getting stuck in LA, New York, Chicago, in these big markets. It's in their interest to not do that.
Yeah.
And the way the game is currently played, with the dependence on three-point shooters, teams always looking for 3-and-D guys, those 3-and-D guys, all of a sudden that shot leaves, you have a guy who helps you win the championship this year and, shooting 39% from three. And next year he's shooting 31% from three. That matters. So the game has changed. This is where the game is. I will say the playoffs this year have been a good watch. They really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So to wrap this segment up, one, the playoffs are kind of how I'm looking at scheduling. You can have playoffs without having back-to-backs because there are no back-to-backs in the postseason. So you really don't have to have back-to-backs in the regular season. Scheduling is just scheduling. Robert has done enough master schedules. I've done enough master schedules to kind of figure it out. And if the NFL can schedule with all of their variables, I'm sure you can schedule something that you don't have to have back-to-backs or 3 and 5 or something like that. So if the league really wants to maintain the 82 game schedule, they have to not worry about football. They have to just focus on themselves, and they have to create a schedule that is conducive to this engagement because, yes, CKA used to be season ticket holders to the Washington Wizards. And because of some of the things that Will had mentioned, we're no longer season ticket holders because it's just not a viable experience for families. So with that, in segment 3, the WNBA Week in Review, news and notes, we'll be right back. And yes, I'm just telling you, we don't care about the Knicks. So we'll be right back on the Yacht Coaches Podcast. Hi, everyone. Dr. Keith Adams here, and for over 30 years, I've dedicated my life to helping student athletes succeed, not just on the fields and the courts, but in the classroom and beyond, and that's why I founded the CKA Save Project. The CKA Save Project understands that finding the balance between academics and athletics is crucial for long-term success. That's why the CKA Save Project offers a range of programs, including personalized consulting, mentorship, and coming in 2027, our innovative Gap Year Basketball Academy designed to assist both young men and women reach their full potential both on and off the court. I'm incredibly excited to announce that the CKA Save Project is now partnering with the Cascade Sports Network. This partnership will allow us the opportunity to amplify our message and reach even more student athletes through the Odd Coaches Podcast and other exciting initiatives. Join the CKA Save Project and the Cascade Sports Network as we empower the next generation of student athletes. Visit CKA on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org to learn more. Let's work together to find the balance and help unlock your potential. Welcome back to the Odd Coaches Podcast. Will is wrong. In segment 3, WNBA Top 5, we've got New York Liberty, We've got the Minnesota Lynx. We've got the Phoenix Mercury. We've got the Atlanta Dream. And we've got the Seattle Storm. We had Las Vegas on the outside looking in, but they had a very, very a bad game yesterday. But our story of the week is the fact that Miss Angel Reese is struggling a little bit, and it seems to be a little bit of national news. Will, any thoughts about Angel Reese struggling, and any suggestions to help her get better?
It's one of those things where she just has to focus and do it. I mean, everybody's a professional of whatever they do, and you clock in what you do. It's 9 a.m. or 8 a.m. and you close at 5 p.m. And if that's how good you want to be, that's how you're going to be. People who want to show out or become better, you work out outside those working hours. Um, I think now it's at the point now where when she was working out before the season, I think there was a lot of distractions. I think she was doing the podcast. I think she was modeling. I think she was doing things that she wants to do, and everybody was like, "Cool, do your thing." I think it took away from her work. You know what I'm saying? What got her here? Because that's when you really make your improvements, or in the summer when you're adding a game over here or a skill over here or something that you're not doing very well to get better. So now we're in the season and she wasn't able to work on those things. And now, not only that, people's like, oh, well, now I know where she likes to go. I know she likes to go right and then go left. I like she spin. I like to go over here, or she starts low under the rim. So now there's more data about her. So yeah, it's going to be a lot tougher for her to score as well. Even the same things that she done 2 years ago in LSU is not going to work in the WNBA. Like, they're much better. You're going to come much better athletes, and you're not playing 2 or 3 games out a week. You might play one or two, against like a really good team, not elite, 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 elite. So, and I think, last thing is, I think now it's really affecting her mentality. I think mentally, she is already overthinking that when she gets the ball, she's like, oh, Jesus Christ, like, like let it go, and those are the biggest hurdles for athletes, is to get over those mentality blocks, those mental blocks, because if you're not used to them, if you're not overcoming those mental blocks, they can really just creep up, grow, 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 and then all of a sudden she'll end up on the bench. Then she'll be a rotation player. You know what I'm saying? So I think really at this point she has skill. We've seen it before. She has an engine. She can ball. It's all of her mental right now, and she has to get out of that for her to succeed.
All right. So, Danny, I'm going to go to you. Inside references. Danny played post. I coached post. I recruited Danny. I saw Danny when he was in high school, probably about 2 dozen times. And I saw his growth potential of what he was at this moment and what he could be. And I trust my eye. And Danny ended up playing Division I in professional basketball. So, again, talent evaluation is a big thing. Angel Reese is not a bad talent. I would recruit Angel Reese. But Angel Reese is just a little too busy for me right now. She's not boring enough to be as effective. So, Danny, I'm going to go to you. One, you see she's struggling. She plays your position. What are you seeing in your eyes, and what would you advise her to do?
I would advise her. I'm just going to start what she needs to do first. She needs to contact Lisa Leslie, Lauren Jackson, Yolanda Griffith, Tina Thompson, and find out how to score from 15 feet and in. We know she has the skill. She did it when she was in college. And I'm going back to what Will said. It's her mentality. What was she doing in the off season? Besides, like you said, she was doing modeling, she was doing the podcast. She did play in Unrivaled. That's 3-on-3. I would have took that time to just do whatever post moves I can think of and see if it sticks. Because one thing, and I'm just going off of my own experience, I played so much from the time you saw me during that summer. I was playing even when we weren't playing in the gym. I was going to the park. I had some guys I knew who had open court, and I was just doing post moves that I never thought I'd be doing. That's what helped me develop the turnaround jump shot. It helped me develop my hook move, up and under footwork. What is she doing away from the court And just from what I've seen over these past, this first beginning of the season, I don't see it right now. And it's not to say she's not a bad player. Clearly, she's not. She's one of only 3 people in the league to average a double-double right now. So we know her motor's there. It's just I think her limited offensive repertoire is showing, and people are taking advantage of the fact that it's not there. I remember there was a segment she had like 4 straight offensive rebounds. Jonquel Jones went to block it, and she didn't jump to block it. She literally just stood there, hands up, and said no. So you have to learn to how to develop under the basket and not just get it and think, oh, I'm gonna go up and score. Because like Will said, you're not playing against college girls no more. These are grown women who know what it takes to not let that post player, especially inside, with the way post players are in the WNBA. I think John Full is 6'6", Kalani Brown is 6'5". All of these girls are strong and tall and long. So she needs to find a way to use angles to score and find a way to play 15 feet away from the basket, so she can at least have some sort of resemblance of what we knew she was going to be or what we thought she could be once she got to this level.
So, Robert, you're an official. You see the game from a different angle. What are you seeing with Angel Reese, and what would you advise her?
Well, so first of all, she can't. First of all, I think a lot of this is mental. I really do. Because obviously, she was drafted highly, and she, there are some skills there. That being said, and before I became an official, I was an athletic director. Before I became an athletic director, I was a coach. She has no right hand. She's turning over her right shoulder every single time. She's turning to her right shoulder. She's not going to go to the right hand. Her shot release is right here. She can't play through contact. And all of those things are contributing to her issues. And since she's struggling, it's kind of getting worse. It's almost getting to the point where she kind of has the yips now.
Yeah.
From an official's perspective, if I'm watching her play, she's going to be coming saying, I'm getting fouled. It's like,
nah,
there's nothing there. She's, at that level, you have to be able to play through contact. And right now she just can't do it. She can't. Yeah. And, if like Danny said, Jonquel Jones standing right there, blocked a shot, never left her feet. So she's got to figure that out. I just think that she'd have been way better served in the offseason, not playing an unrivaled. And like Danny said, spend some time with somebody who can teach you some post moves. And if you want to turn over your right shoulder, that's fine, but you have to have a counter. At that level, you have to have a counter. And she should be able to hook over both shoulders. She should have a step through on both sides. She should have a step back. If she can use those 3 moves, that will help her immensely.
Lisa Leslie even said on her podcast, she was like, I will help you. I will work with you directly on video. She said, I will help you work on but she said, I want to help you make layups. Now, I don't know how that was received, because depends on somebody's
probably not well.
Oh yeah, definitely oh, never mind. Like, I'm good. I don't want to hear that. So I don't know. But she does have access to the greatness. She can call, anybody. I'm sure she has access to anybody, even NBA players. I'm sure she can ask people and say, hey, no.
And the other piece of that is this. The coaching staff of the Sky has decided that she's going to be a focal point of the offense.
Yeah.
The focal point of the offense cannot be shooting 30% from the floor.
Yeah.
So you may want to rethink that.
So, fans, FD was a point guard. And I want to hear from a point guard What would you do to assist Angel Reese in getting better? Because you're the one delivering the ball. So talk to me, FD. How are you going to help Angel Reese?
Yes, I think that in the new basketball day.
Oh, he lost it. All right, no worries, fans. That's called international technology. So, from a post coach perspective, one of the things as a coach that I did was we positioned the court and put letters on the court. And if you've got the ball in the A area, that means that's right around the basket. That means you look to score first. And we did post moves every day of practice. Even our guards did post moves. It was called 12-minute offense. If you get the ball in the B area, which is about 10 to 15 feet from the basket, that's really no man's land where you have to make a decision, either get the ball to the A area where you score first or pass the ball and position yourself. And if you get the ball in the C area, which is just outside the arc, you just kind of pass first and get to your comfortable spot. So that's one of the things I would work with Angel Reese with is simplify everything you do. And that's where the teaching comes in. And by actually color coding the court as you instruct, it eases the anxiety in terms of what you're supposed to do. And looking at Danny makes me mad because, gosh, we really would have won a lot with that. So as we close, working with our friends at BSN Sports, CKA and OCP, gear will be on sale from June 9th to June 23rd. Follow us on social media. We'll be posting the links. Get all your gear and support a great cause because every item sold, $5 goes right to the CK Save Project. And let's just say there's a lot going on in college athletics, and we need to support student athletes. So on behalf of our Cavalcade of Stars, I am Dr. Keith Adams saying thank you for listening and or watching the Odd Coaches podcast, also seen on the Cascade Sports Network. And we will see you on the sidelines. Until next time, take care.
The Odd Coaches podcast is sponsored by the CKA Save Project. The CKA Save Project is an industry leader in providing student-athlete academic and athletic support. From assessing student-athletes' academic and athletic skills to measuring and monitoring student-athlete academic progress to improving student-athlete time management and organizational skills, the CKA Save Project provides wraparound services for student-athletes from middle school through college. For more information, visit us on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org or schedule a free consultation with Dr. Keith Adams by emailing cka@ckasaveproject.org. We hope you enjoyed today's show. The Odd Coaches podcast drops new episodes every Tuesday through Friday on most weeks. Make sure you subscribe to the Odd Coaches podcast on Apple Music, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Spotify, and YouTube. Follow the Odd Coaches podcast on Twitter and Instagram at Odd Coaches. Follow Dr. Adams on Twitter and Instagram at CKA Save Project. In addition, follow Coach Mike Francis on Twitter and Instagram at Coach Franchise, spelled Coach Franchize. For more information about the CKA Save Project, please visit them on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org. See you next time on the Odd Coaches Podcast.